Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This talk today is for all my friends out there who are in the middle of breaking your own cycles and raising kids. And today I was with my best friend, and she has a daughter that's, I guess I'd consider her a preschooler now. And while we were hanging out, there were some things that were happening that she didn't like, and she said that. And at one point, my friend and I were talking about a road trip with someone else in the car that I had told my friend I think would be just difficult for your daughter to be around because their energy is just so big, and they'd be trying really hard to get her daughter to like them, and then it would end up causing her to feel overwhelmed, I think. And my friend and I, we were both loving her daughter and talking about it in a way to protect her, but her daughter felt like I was talking negatively about her, and she said, like, stop talking about me, and then she ran off. And I went and I asked my friend if I could go and talk to her, and we worked through everything, and it was just fine. But then I came back, and my friend was like, I'm afraid you're mad at me because of how my daughter responded. And what I've seen over and over again is that people who are in the midst of healing their own generational patterns, healing their own struggles and weaknesses, that when their kids display behaviors that are the exact opposite of what they were ever allowed to do, that there's this real fear that rises up. And it's like, if my child does this thing or doesn't respond in the way that I was trained to respond, then you won't like them, or you'll think they're a bad kid. And I just want those of you that are in that boat where you're trying to learn how to let your kids do their own thing, but not in a like just do whatever you want, but actually express themselves, their likes, their desires, their dislikes, and learning how to do that in a respectful way, but also a strong way, so that they're not just going along with what others want or shutting themselves down in order to keep the peace. I just want you to know that it's okay for your kids to have these struggles. It's okay for your kids to have big emotions, and that it doesn't change our love for them. Like when you're on a journey with someone, a friend or a family member, and you've decided together that you're going to heal, it's actually these ruptures that create healthier and stronger relationships. And so because my friend was able to say, hey, I'm afraid you're upset with me about how my daughter responded, I was able to say, no, I mean, I love you and I love her. And then I was able to go and repair with her daughter and talk about what came up for her and what she was feeling and why she was feeling upset. And it was a really powerful moment because then her young daughter got to experience repair with an adult. And so I just want to encourage you that even if your kids are doing things that socially aren't acceptable, as long as they're not disrespectful or dangerous, then it really is okay. And if people are uncomfortable with your child being unhappy about something or feeling embarrassed, which is what happened today, then honor your child. Let them let those feelings out and work with them through it and help them to understand that, like, it's okay. It's okay to say I'm embarrassed, or it's okay to say I want to be involved in the conversations about me, or whatever it might be. And know that those of us, me, your sergeant sister, like I'm here for you in what you're going through, specifically, with my best friend. Like, I'm not mad at her that she's learning how to treat her child differently than she was treated. And that's what breaking cycles looks like. A lot of times we think breaking cycles means that everything's different, but really what it means is we go through the exact same things, but we respond differently. And when my friend was young, she had to behave and perform and do everything basically just right in order to have acceptance and to feel safe in relationship. And so now her child is going through this process of not doing everything just right. And she's going through the process of loving her child and teaching her child that she's lovable, even if she doesn't do everything right. And it's a beautiful journey. And that's part of the journey, is these hiccups and these bumps. And when you're on this journey with other people, they recognize that being triggered, being upset, being worried about something, that's actually just part of the growth process. And every time that happens, it's an invitation into a closer relationship. It's an invitation into a deeper understanding of each other and to dealing with the issues that are causing you to feel hurt. And so my encouragement to you today is let your child be their child, themselves, I should say, and allow people who love you and love them to love them, and set boundaries to protect them if people are not able to accept their big emotions. If it causes a reaction in the adult, then that just means they have their own work to do. And you can let your kids know that, like, hey, say that today when she did that to me and I got upset. If I was in my friend's situation, I would have just said to her, hey, Auntie got upset about the way you were reacting, but that's about her, not you, because you didn't do anything wrong. And so if she wants to talk to you about it, she can talk to you about it, and help her to see from a young age that, like, you don't have to be responsible as a child to make the adult feel okay. You also don't have to be responsible as a child to bring repair in the relationship. I mean, many times when people come from dysfunctional homes, they end up like being the ones to carry the connection in the relationship. Like, I will behave and perform well, or I'll be quiet and be peaceful. I won't ask too much, and then I'll have love. Or if I do something wrong and I mess up, I'll come back and I'll say I'm sorry, and then everything will be fixed. And the healing that we as adults are doing now is beginning to speak the truth, beginning to say what's most loving in any situation. And you'll hear me say this a lot, like, what's most loving is what is most loving to myself and to others in this moment. And sometimes when it comes to being loving, it is most loving to set boundaries with someone else and to say, no, I'm not going to be able to do that for you. But sometimes what's most loving is to set boundaries with myself and to say, hey, that's not how we treat people. That's not who we are. And so we learn to discern that, because in the past, many of us actually just did what we were told or stayed quiet. I myself stayed quiet a lot instead of speaking what was true. And now I have this jaw that's always clenched and I'm working continuously on releasing the pressure in my jaw and my shoulders. They're always up like this, and I catch them and bring them down. But that's the growth process for me as an adult. The cool thing is that for my friend who has a child that's a preschooler, she gets to teach her that now. So she'll grow up healthy. And I have 5 kids myself, and my youngest is 10 and my oldest is going to be 21 this year. And I'm trying to reteach some of this stuff. And so I just encourage you, don't stifle your children. Don't smother them. Don't force them to perform. Let them be themselves, and then work through that with them. Because sometimes working through the boundaries will be, like I said earlier, setting the boundary with the other person. And sometimes it will be providing your child with training and education and interaction on how they can take responsibility for their own behaviors and actions and communicate what they need. And so with that, I just want to encourage you guys, continue healing spirit, soul, and body. I'll be here for you. Be back again soon. Much love. Your Sergeant Sister.